Your mic's a little choppy right now on the Pix ban screen for some reason.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Alright, well it looks like Orbit's mic is maybe malfunctioning on this screen, but anyway, bringing you a match from Symphony Gaming tonight. We've got two Chuanz going up against Faded. The ban's already underway. Looks like two Chuanz with the first ban. They take out Visage. Just worried about aggro tri-lanes with Visage, and then Wisp being forced into like a 4 Protect 1 or early 5-man. Faded taking out Batrider, taking out Treant Protector. Pretty annoying heroes. I think your mic might be working now. Not so much. But two Chuanz, they pick up the Darkseer first, and then we've got Nakes here. Very quickly picked up by Faded. And waiting on them to get their second pick here.
Needs assassin.
Dire team pick.
Alright, Orbit restarting, trying to get his mic fixed up. Bravebird was in the broadcasting channel as well. I don't know if you got your mic working right now. Doesn't appear to be so, but anyway, I'll just keep going here. So, Lifestealer picked up first by Faded, following that up with the Nyx. So, some very top tier 1 picks right there. Nyx still so good between the early, mid, and late game. Nyx going to be a great support in defensive or aggro tri-lane, and then fast level 6, just a lot of map control that way. Also pretty good at killing Darkseer with the mana drain and with the Impale, able to bait out that surge if they find themselves tri-lane versus Darkseer. Will work out a little bit in their favor. And two Chuanz with their second pick. They're going to elect to get the Bane, basically. Enfeeble, going to be great on Lifestealer throughout the whole game. And then, of course, Fiend's Grip, going through Rage, able to hold Lifestealer in place, do a lot of damage while everyone bursts him down. And then we've got some more bans coming out. The two Chuanz, they take out the Puck. Kind of worried, I guess, of the team fight control of Puck, ever trying to push a tower. Also the silence there with Darkseer, not able to get a wall off. And are you back in Orbit?
Can you hear me?
I can now.
Is this better?
Yes. It's
okay, great.
Literally 1000% better.
Fantastic. Alright, well, pretty kind of signature heroes coming out, I feel, from Faded. I've seen them run the Nyx Assassin as well as the Lifestealer quite a bit. Something interesting is the Puck ban. Generally, if you see a Puck ban, you see a Quap being picked up. And I was actually thinking normally it's Faded who run the Queen of Pain, but it could be that two Chuanz would want to pick it up here in the draft.
Yeah, in this game, I guess like we talked about before, I've been seeing Sabi play Storm a lot, and given that they already have a Lifestealer, I wouldn't be surprised if they do pick up a Storm here. Maybe not in the first 3 picks, maybe in the 4th or 5th, because it does definitely reveal your mid pretty early. And then you could pick something
That's
like
a really
OD
good point.
to kind of shut it down. And then, yeah, like, signature heroes for sure. Dimitri on the Nyx Assassin, the #1 hero for Russians, and then Lifestealer going to be played by Corey, hands down.
Something interesting about the draft right now, I like the OD ban. I feel like Storm or Quap are going to be picked up here as a 3rd pick. But the Bane being picked up 2nd for two Chuanz kind of shows how much they prioritize dealing with this Lifestealer. They didn't really wait for the 2nd pick stage to pick either the Bane or the Shadow Demon, pick something bigger like the Gyrocopter, for example, as a 2nd pick. Instead, they really decide that they want to be able to deal with this as soon as possible with what they're comfortable with, which in this case is the Bane support.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out. I mean, I feel like a lot of teams will pick up that Bane immediately after a Lifestealer pick, and it has its pros and cons, of course. Two Chuanz, they take out a Nature's Prophet. I guess worried about some split push, or Theory, he's a pretty good NP offlaner, but in terms of offlaning, it looks like the Clockwork may be filling that role. It could potentially go mid. I know you take it mid a couple times, or I've seen you take it mid quite a few times.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite heroes to play in the mid lane for sure. There's a lot of really interesting picks actually coming out of this draft. I like the Weaver pick a lot against the Lifestealer just because of how it can deal with it. And it feels like two Chuanz is putting all their hopes in the fact that Lifestealer is playing a 1. And then an Alchemist. Some really interesting picks coming out from this team here. Really good combo potential with Darkseer.
To me these days, everyone picks him up now. He's such a strong laner. If he wants to not be greedy and can just go for like Acid Spray and Unstable Concoction and can pretty much win most lanes 1v1. And then if he does go greedy, you've always got to be worried about ganking him and ganking him early because he's going to be so strong with all that extra gold because of that ability. We'll see where they put him. He could potentially go mid, especially if it's going to be against a Clockwork. But
yep. The thing about this is, I actually feel like the best bet for them is to run the clock off and then maybe Lifestealer in the mid lane, because it's really difficult to play an Alchemist running up against a Lifestealer team, which then again, looking at Chuanz's lineup, is like could be one of the big reasons for picking the Bane that early. They could have been thinking far ahead and thinking, we want to have an Alchemist, we want to be able to get the gold advantage really early, and want to be able to back him up with the potential counter on Fated's team, which is the Nyx.
That's very
TA
true.
being banned here.
Yeah, I would say, and TA being banned out. Who I feel like Alchemist might do pretty well against TA if you do pick up the Acid Spray. And there is the Storm Spirit.
Nice call.
I was definitely still thinking Storm, especially when they banned OD, because I guess you sort of pointed this out to me. But basically, two heroes that are going to win that for sure: OD and Skywrath. Same thing; those two winning against Co-op more than likely. So.
Pretty interesting. I love the synergy that they have right now with Lifestealer. The only thing is, Clockwork is more of a utility-based hero, and Storm Spirit's more of a snowballing hero. So if Chuanz is able to somehow shut down this Storm Spirit, then it'll feel like Fated has all their eggs in one basket with that Lifestealer pick, just being the pure carry in that sense. However, with the amount of kind of mobility coming out from the solo laners, if you will, from Fated, the Clockwork as well as Storm Spirit, there's a lot of potential jumping ability from Fated to be able to maybe catch someone out of position. So we'll see how both teams really decide to play here. We're just waiting on the last pick now, probably a support pick here by Chuanz.
Yeah, and they even Fated available. They have like a 3-hero Nyx Bomb available to them. He can go in Storm Spirit, which is very obvious. He can go in the Clockwork with the hook in, and he can also go in Nyx while Nyx is Vendetta. So there's a lot of options for Lifestealer. Right. And it'll keep Chuanz guessing. Like, do we Orchid Storm Spirit and burst him down and like Nyx is in there, or is he waiting in Nyx, or is he in Clock and he's gonna come in later? I don't know. But at that case, just throw him in Rubik too. I mean, get a blink. Saguchi Rubik.
Yeah,
I hate playing Weaver when Rubik's on the other team.
That's true, actually. That's going to be pretty difficult to deal with if Rubik manages to steal that. But what I was actually thinking right now is that the lanes are very straightforward right now coming out of Fated. They are going to tri-lane. Their Storm is definitely going to go mid. We're not sure where the tri-lane's going to go. They could easily solo save the clock if they wanted to. But I feel like there is a lot of potential shut down the Storm Spirit mid lane, just based on the fact that Alchemist does decently well against it, because Storm Spirits tend to push their wave out with Static Remnant, but there's also a lot of kill potential if a Bane comes into gank. The Nightmare followed up by the Unstable Concoction is a lot of damage to Storm Spirit, as he is relatively squishy early on without an escape.
Yes, and the last pick here is going to be the Jakiro from Chuanz, so if there was any reason not too aggressive against Chuanz, I think it would just be the Jakiro with that Ice Path, pretty big disrupting spell early on. But we'll see what happens, and we'll start the introductions. I'll just go with the Dire, because that's what I like to do for some reason. We've got two Chuanz on the Dire, 470 taking the Alchemist. Looks like he is going mid, electing to go a fast bottle build. Got Darkseer, well, heading top for now, but definitely going to be heading bot. Offlaning is Crowds on the Darkseer. Jakiro being played by Deep Evil, going into the top defensive tri-lane. Sentry's Wards, lots of consumables. Bane, also lots of regen. That's going to be a stand-in for Chuanz, so Bane being played by Tella. And last but not least, we've got Hax here on the Weaver. Looks like he'll be building into a pretty quick Bass.
And over on the Radiant side here for Fated, we have Theory playing the Clockwork, standard build for him, starting out with Cogs as well as a Stout Shield and 2 Clarities. Storm Spirit, Saibi playing that hero. In the safe lane is actually really interesting, because Corey normally is a carry player for this team, if I remember correctly, and he's actually playing a support Rubik in this game, opting to have their stand-in Rhyme play the Lifestealer in the carry position. And finally Dimitri rounding up the support combination there with Corey playing that Nyx Assassin.
Give me one sec.
So it does look like they are kind of doing what I thought, which was running the Alchemist mid and having potential for ganks. However, they're just leaving the off lane for now, which is interesting.
Or so I am told.
I feel like the Darkseer could have stayed there to prevent any support rotation in a 1v3 lane, but he'll get way more in the jungle, which makes sense why he's starting there.
Alright, sorry, I got taken away for a little while there. But when I left, so Corey playing the support, what I think's going on here for Faded. Corey, whoa! Those pings from, that must have been Dimitri.
Yeah.
He's got a macro for it to spam him. But I think Corey is maybe trying to phase out as the carry, since he's busy, and I know some pro teams have been looking at him, so maybe they're just trying to replace him, and Rhyme standing in for that.
Interesting, okay.
But I don't know what else was touched on.
Well, Clock's gonna have a pretty miserable time. He doesn't really win this lane in a 1v1, and with the support help, it's gonna be really tough for him to get levels here. He is getting a lot more experience than he should. I'm surprised that Jakiro isn't zoning as much as he could be right now. He's gonna hit level 2 a lot faster than I thought he'd be able to. However, thanks to the double damage, it basically means that a lot of these are going to be denies, or should be denies, I should say.
Yeah, should have been denies. Weaver only at 3-1, had the DD for a while. Into the mid lane, I want to say Alchemist probably not going to have too bad of a time in this lane at all, I don't think. And he is going that acid spray, unstable concoction build, so Saibi potentially not going to snowball out of this lane. And did you mention that Darkseer jungling here?
Yeah, I did actually. I was a bit surprised because there isn't that much kill potential with these supports as well as the Lifestealer, as he can surge away after the stuns are finished. But he'll get a lot more in the jungle, so he's going to be staying there for the time being. Something important about the mid lane, because there is very little rotation coming out right now, Saibi can play relatively aggressively, and the nice thing about having this lane is that it's very hard for the Alchemist to be able to deny a Storm Spirit here, just because of how much damage the Static Remnant does against melee heroes, especially, as it's much easier to hit.
Yeah, that's true. Static Remnant will be doing a lot of damage for Saibi. I'm just worried Saibi, one spray. It's level 2 right now, so one more level than that is going to be kind of annoying. But that means Alchemist isn't going Grievel's Greed, so not going to get, you know, intense free farm in the mid lane 1v1, so he'll get a slower start than most Alchemists normally do, going Grievel's Greed. Or even Grievel's Greed and Midas
nice
if
play.
You want to be that greedy. Oh, is that nice
yep,
play?
Nice play on the bot rune there.
I don't believe it.
Yeah, he stunned up, got the rune.
Might even get a courier too with his haste rune. No, gonna start taking some tower hits pretty soon. He's got an impale as well. So denying 470 that rune is gonna be good, and this courier here pretty slow now, even with the haste. I don't know if Dimitri's gonna try to look for it.
He's gonna find crowds here in the jungle. Not opting to mana burn actually, as we see some commentary coming out of the spectators.
Bravebird, make us sweet stat overlays that pop up. I want to say it's F10 that brings up the window, so you can have fun with that.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, you can also do it too. So can I, but everyone will see it, and it would defeat the purpose.
It's pretty funny. Clockwork getting closer to level 3. Getting a bit engaged on right now, actually. He's going to run in a little bit into the ice path. He actually dodges it there. Running away still. This could be a potential kill.
Yeah,
we'll see if
like
they dive for it.
Hax is going to dive for it. He's got a Geminate available to him, but Saguchi on such a low cooldown, now finding himself in between the tier 2 and tier 1 towers. Looks like Therium might pick up a kill that he really shouldn't be getting right now. And he definitely would have been down.
That would have been an amazing kill too.
If he ran into the ice path, he would have been down.
This is way too aggressive coming out though. Just needlessly aggressive. They did a lot of damage to Theory there. They wasted his salve though at the very end, but actually first blood ends up going into the mid lane.
Don't worry, I was on top of it.
Really surprising kill. That was a solo kill.
Yeah,
from a gank.
Saibi was trying to get aggressive to sort of bait the Alchemist into, but with the Unstable Concoction already being level 2, Acid Spray level 3, supports, you know, couldn't flank that Alchemist by the time he just destroyed Saibi.
Ouch. Nice rocket there by Theory, canceling the clarity of Jakiro there, so he's going to be very low on mana. Actually, 2 heroes now really low on mana, the Weaver as well as Jakiro. Storm's having to walk back.
Indeed, he is going to slow him down quite a bit. Alchemist, yeah, TP'd back into the lane already, so drawing a bit more farm. If we do check out the farm, it's going to be dead even right now, Saibi, with a couple more denies. But that being said, 470 has a kill. Looks like he did go down there to the supports of Faded. So, not all is bad in the mid lane.
This is a nice engagement here in the bot lane, yeah.
Could be in trouble.
Interesting
Rhyme taking
creep
a lot
choice.
Of creep hits. Yeah, not a whole lot of equilibrium. Now Crowd's trying to run the other way. Rubik going to be there just in the nick of time, able to pick him up with telekinesis. Looks like Corey will get that kill with one more auto attack.
He actually opted to Ion Shell the range creep there. Didn't really do him that much good. Probably a misclick.
Probably meant to click on himself, I would imagine, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'll be the first to complain about Dota 2's unit selection. It's pretty freaking awful. And some items coming out already. We've got Rhyme here with a Midas at 5 minutes and like 30 seconds, so doing a pretty good job there. Going to have a lot of uses out of it. And Crowds could potentially be in trouble again. The open wounds is there. Doesn't get it off before the surge. But I think Crowds could go down here. One more last hit. No, Alchemist comes in. The infest damage from Rhyme is going to be enough, so well done there. And Corey looks like he will get away as Dimitri's really, really annoying frog courier comes in to deliver some items.
This is actually one of the big reasons a lot of pros opt to not get Vacuum at level 4 and instead go for a second level in Surge. If he did have that second level in Surge, the extra 1.5 seconds definitely would have helped him out there, and he would have been able to escape with his life against a tri-lane. You generally don't see the first point in Vacuum leveled until around level 8.
Yeah, just so you are more mobile. Like the last game we cast, I remember we saw the Darkseer having 4 points in it before any in Vacuum was able to get from mid to bot, drop a nice wall and something vague. That's what I remember. I usually stop at 2 points. I think it's kind of enough.
Yeah, same.
And then I want to have, level 3, level 4 wall by the time I'm getting level 2 Vacuum. Or reverse that. Level 3 or 4 Vacuum by the time I'm getting 1 or 2 wall.
Yeah. I know what you meant. Things kind of going in waves. There's a whole bunch of aggression on one person, and then it goes back to a little bit of passive farming in the mid, and then something else happens. But during that entire time while Alchemist is running around, Saibi's just been sitting here farming. He has 26 CS 7 minutes, which is pretty good for now. Alchemist actually, I thought he'd be a lot further behind, but he's doing really well for himself. However, as we had mentioned before, the fact that he doesn't have the Greevil's Greed means that he isn't really getting the extra little kick from his lane.
Yeah,
They're
but
going
he's
on mid.
Still a pretty good hero. And yeah, looks like the supports were gearing up to initiate for a while now.
That was great.
They finally do. Concoction goes out, standing in that level 4 Acid Spray as well, and then the Brain Sap and Ice Path. Taking Saibi out right there. And yeah, I mean, Alk does well. He's a really tanky hero, especially once he hits 6, and you're going to hit 6 fast in the mid lane. And then with level 4 Acid Spray, like, honestly, you can just drop it, and you'll probably get half of every wave every time, so...
Yeah, it's true. Not only that, but it also, if they're in a bad position, it helps do Ancients as well if they stack the Ancients for him. The level 4 Acid Spray, I think like 2 or 3 will be a complete Ancient stack.
Yeah, it won't. It'll make the stacks pretty easy. But check out the carry, the hard carries farm here. So we've got Rhyme, who you saw with the 5-minute 30-second Midas, up to 52 last hits. Weaver, though, also doing quite well on the side of 2 Chuanz. Hacks up to 50 last hits, 10 denies. Looks like he is going to go fast to Lincoln, so look for him to get that. Hopefully pre-20 minutes. If not, then that's a really good sign for Faded.
Yep, definitely. He's farming pretty well. I mean, he's staying on par as we had seen with that Lifestealer, which is pretty good. Something surprising to note still is I want to keep going back to this. The Alchemist shouldn't be getting this much, as well as like his trust in the supports in the beginning and that engagement in the mid lane to kill the Storm. He was pretty much going with that stun, assuming that the Ice Path would hit on the Storm Spirit, as he did have level 7 at the time, so he did have his ultimate and would have been able to go if it did not hit. So really nice trust in your supports there to get that kill for the mid lane. And some more rotations now.
Yeah, supports have been very mobile on both teams, but let me get your opinion on this. I've seen this quite a few times as when doing team matchmaking and some other games. Alchemist is going fast mechanism. What do you make of that?
I really don't like it actually in this game, only because of the fact that they do have a Darkseer who like it's pretty much standard on that hero. I feel like if the Alchemist had gone more of a core-centric build, just having the dual core with a potential utility in the Darkseer would have been a lot more gearing for the late game, especially considering the Nakes did go Midas and got it relatively early at 5:30. Actually, in the bottom lane, we have some action here.
Yeah, Crowds might be in some trouble. I don't know necessarily where Lifestealer is. Looks like he got pretty low, maybe Bane. Not level 6 yet, so didn't use his ult. Crowds in a bit of trouble. Corey's auto attack goes off. It's not going to be quite enough. And Jakiro
Stout
TP's
shield
down
proc.
here, as well as Theory, and looks like who's joining into the fight. It's going to be Weaver now. Hitting the cogs right away, so buying a lot of time for Faded to run away. Dimitri going to get caught in Ice Path. Has the Carapace, though. Also going to buy him some time. And it looks like with all that fighting, no one actually going to go down yet. I don't know if sentries have been purchased up. No sentries on either of these supports, so I think... Oh! Theory with a really nice cogs. Breaks it. Hack's going to use time-lapse, and I think he's going to go down here. Corey is going to go down on the Rubik and able to get out of there.
He could keep going.
Yeah, he probably
If he had switched to Strength Threads there, I think he could have kept going. Just based on the fact that he knows Clockwork stuff is down. The cogs had just happened, and really the kill potential comes with the rocket as well as the spells from Nyx. But he's going to go now, and this could be a bad time. No,
well, he's lucky that the rocket did hit him. That would have been quite a large amount of damage. But a nice spiked Carapace there. Yeah, he probably could have taken a little bit more damage. Bravebird doing the cool stat things. Gosh. But yeah, so Alchemist going for mech, and yeah, like you said, with Darkseer, especially since they abandoned the off lane for Darkseer to farm, I think it is kind of weird that he's not going mech. Alchemist maybe could have just went phase Shadowblade or boots Shadowblade or anything really.
Yep.
Would have been really nice.
I mean,
for
in
him.
this sense, like their entire lineup turns into a 4 protect 1 when it shouldn't have to be. They're putting a lot of reliance on Weaver to dish out damage, and especially considering the fact that Weaver's isn't even going like a straight damage build. He's going Lincoln's first, which is the right build in this case, but I mean, it just means that their damage is going to be a little bit delayed on the Alchemist and on the Weaver.
Yeah, I agree. I really like their team, but now their item decisions are making me kind of think otherwise. Alchemist not going to be able to do a whole lot of damage. There's some sustain, and when you put all of your carry potential into Weaver, I don't know. I'm not really that big of a fan. He's still super squishy. Going Lincoln's first damage is going to be delayed. There's going to be an Orchid on Storm, definitely eventually. There's a Telekinesis on Rubik, Cogs, Battery Assault, Hook, everything on, and Impales, like tons of stuns. So, I don't know, he could still be burst down pretty easily. But anyway, looks like a fight will break out in the mid lane. Dimitri, nice spiked Carapace there on a couple. Rhyme gonna ult up, or sorry, rage up and go after Bane there. Theory hooking in there. Gonna pick off the Weaver, maybe, maybe not. Everyone's standing in Acid Spray taking a lot of damage. Corey's gonna go down again to Weaver. So Hack's having a nice game for himself.
Ouch.
That's 2 kills, 70 CS. He's diving even further. Doesn't have time lapse right now, still on Intreads, but it looks like it's gonna be enough to get Theory. Maybe not. A nice, well-placed Cogs. Jakiro on the other side, Rhyme in a bit of trouble, having to rage up, going back to the tower where there is quite a party right now. Hack's still ringing around the tower. The crowd's way back down in there as well. TP's coming back in from Faded. Hacks.
There's another kill. Corey's dead.
Yeah, Corey is very dead. That Ion Shell level 4, I would assume, yep. As well as the Sakuchi doing a ton of damage. And 470 not dying here. Has a mech charge again in 4 seconds.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Has that ever
And
been
Sabi now
cause
being
for
chased down.
celebration?
Battle of the Invis Bugs. Who's going to win?
Radiant's bottom tower is being subjected
The
to
Vendetta hit goes out, and the Impale's going to be enough. Nice. I think
Nice
Alk
kill.
might even stun himself. Dimitri there with the Spike Carapace as well. And now I can't tell if I'm lagging or everyone was just stunned right there.
Bane was just running around in circles, not attacking anyone, but the rest were stunned.
Okay. Oh, and Rhyme actually back into the fight. So this fight lasting like 3 minutes right now. 470 looks to be in a lot of trouble. Will go down, so Rhyme picks up a kill. So at first went very well for 2 Chuanz. No one had to buy back, just low respawn times as it's pretty early into the game. And right now we're finding ourselves 7-6 score with 2 Chuanz, 1 kill advantage.
Yeah, that was a really nice dive from them, securing a lot of kills. Really nice cogs as well during that fight by Theory there. Just well played. I do think he even escaped. I don't remember actually, but I don't know. The thing about the fights right now, though, with both teams, is that the longer the fight goes, the more it feels like it should favor Faded. Just based on the fact that if Alchemist is fighting without his ultimate, he's just kind of like a big creep. He attacks really slowly. You want to be fighting on the timings when Alchemist's stun is in full when Alchemist's ultimate, sorry, is in full effect. So if they can somehow stall, as soon as it's off, it's an easy kill. Actually,
Rhyme.
fighting more. Yeah.
Rhyme going ham at the bot tier 1 tower here. Pops his rage to fight through Bane. Bane throws out a Nightmare, but when you're in rage, it doesn't really matter. You can just attack right through it. Rhyme does almost go down, infested a creep with not a lot of health. I think Dimitri is going to be in quite a bit of trouble. bought himself some time with Spike Carapace, but no follow-up there from his team. It looks like they're just chilling over top. Sabi trying to farm. Did they deny
I mean,
that
this
tower?
is all Chuanz just being in the right places. They're shutting down the core hero for Faded and the Lifestealer, just continually putting on the aggression. And it seems like the two solo laners just not being there really hurt them there in that situation. Nags having to run all the way back, as well as both his supports dying and a tower going down. So a really big win there for Chuanz.
Yeah, and Chuanz gets a tower there. Looks like Darkseer last hits that. So let's see what item he goes for, since, as we've already pretty much pointed out, yeah, he looks like he's just going to rush a pipe, since Alchemist already has that mech. Which, I don't know. So Chuanz going with a utilitarian build here. Just all spreading out all the good. The pipe and a mech. It's going to have them both faster at that point. And sacrificing 470's early damage output. But so far, so good for them. Weaver having a good game. Getting very close to a Lincoln's.
Yep. Are they going to be able to go on Sabi? That seems like it's a bit of a mistake there. He definitely could have dodged that.
Well, yeah, with ball
Taking
lightning.
a lot of damage now.
Do some slow fingers there. Looks like he will get away anyways. Theory there, pretty much out of mana after throwing off that cogs, but it does buy some time. Deep Evil could be in trouble. 470 with a nice stun and a nice vacuum there by Crowds to bring Theory and Dimitri way back. Ice Path is going to land on Dimitri, and this Ion Shell on Alchemist. Looks like he will have another stun in about 1 second. I think Corey is dead no matter what. And not sure if that stun was necessary, as he won't be able to throw it at Storm Spirit. Going to stun himself up here as he turns back into a big creep, as you pointed
Dire's
out.
bottom tower is under attack.
It just feels like there's no answer by Faded to the 5-man aggression coming out of Chuanz. And in that sense, I guess the mech was a really good pickup to be picked up by the Alchemist. He's actually going to try to go on the Lifestealer. We'll see if he can get it off. Doesn't get off his stun, he's just going to take a hit.
Yeah, and you cannot dodge the unstable concoction stun with Chemical Rage. Just, I don't know. I feel like that would be obvious, but...
You used to be able to in Dota 1. There was like a 0.1 second of invulnerability when you cast that spell that you could use to dodge stuns.
Yeah, now I think...
Same with like trolls, like range to melee. Yeah, I think they fixed it.
It only
too.
works on, oh, maybe. I know it works on most projectile spells, like, you know, Vengeance Magic Missile or anything like that.
Okay, so it still exists then?
I don't know. I don't know if I believe Braybird. Sabi again in a lot of trouble here. That was a pretty stacked Ice Path on top of that concoction, but it doesn't look like it's really going to matter. And they're going to get out of there fine, so another good pick-off. Sabi having a really tough time this game. He's died, what, 3 times? He's 0-3-1 right now.
Yep, I mean they're shutting down the snowball that Storm Spirit could have had, and so really now the entire composition is completely reliant on the Lifestealer to carry them through the mid game, as Storm is kind of just dying instantly, and there isn't really a counter by Faded here.
Yeah, a little bit ago you
Second
mentioned
tower.
they're having trouble dealing with this 5-man, and I could attribute that to Nate going Midas. Like, it was still super early, but now he doesn't have drums, he doesn't have phase. Well, he does actually, but didn't have him 8 minutes ago when he probably would have. As Naix actually does go down there in the mid lane, Fiend Script used up for that. Nice vacuum out of the cogs. Weaver just chasing here. Gonna get another kill on Corey. Corey having a tough game on this Rubik. Is he even level 6? Yeah, he's hit level 6. He is the lowest level in the game. Could still start stealing Saguchi now. Give him a little bit more maneuverability. Looks like Theory could be in trouble. 470 doesn't get caught in the cogs, but does get the stun off. Has Ion Shell, so Sabi initiates onto that. The mech is there. A whole lot of healing. Dimitri, wow, Vendetta lands, but the Impale doesn't. 470 pretty fast right now with those phase boots.
This fight just lasts forever.
Yeah, it really does.
They just want to get at each other's throats. I really think it's interesting the way you mentioned that the Midas didn't turn out to be a good pickup here by the Lifestealer. If the Alchemist was a lot greedier and went points in his Grievous Screed, the Midas would have been a great pickup, especially considering he would have been able to kind of go toe-to-toe. But because they laned the Alchemist in the mid and had him go more of a utility build and gear up for the early to mid-game fights, as you said, it kind of backfired on him. So it was a really good pickup in certain situations. It's just Chuanz kind of acted with the intent of running really early to mid-game 5-mans. And it didn't work out in that sense.
Yeah, another thing hurting them, Theory did go up 1 versus 3. He got pretty good levels out of that, but has no items. Looks like he's even buying sentry wards for his team, as the supports are having a rough game, so he's got to make up that slack. And he's got no items. They've got no mana boots, they've got no urn, they don't have any mech. And Bravebird just mentioned that the extended fights now don't really even favor Faded. They've got no mech, they have no sustain, and running around in this level 4 acid spray with mechs and probably a pipe up pretty soon.
Yep. I'm surprised they haven't been smoking right now. Now is the perfect time to get their wards up, which they have been doing in the jungle of the Radiant. But they just kind of like ran in, and the Observer ward there, I think it showed them all running in as well. So Faded able to play safe there, make sure that they don't get ganked in their own jungle.
Yeah, and the sentry put down here by the Dire on the Turtle Cliff, but they didn't deward the ward that should very have plainly been in vision. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah. It could be just out of range.
Yeah, perhaps. They did reduce the sentry range by like the radius by like 20 or something, didn't they? Hasn't affected me so far. But anyway, Ice Path going off to initiate on Dimitri. Hacks going in. Looks like he does have that Lincoln Sphere, probably around 20 minutes. He's 5-1 with 107 CS, so... also went in a full Aquila before that, so I'd say a pretty good timing on the Lincolns, as he's been grouping up to teamfight quite a bit since I've been 5-manning with this mech, really.
Dimitri living life on the edge there, having to use his Vendetta to escape. I'm glad he didn't go in there, as they obviously had seen him use it. Actually, they're going to run in on...
An X-Bomb on the background, Deep Evil taken out immediately. Tele pops off the Fiend's Grip onto Rhyme. Actually, Deep Evil hasn't yet gone down. Saibi gets him there, and 470 now, mech and a Hyperstone doing a lot of damage, almost takes out Theory. Weaver gets a double kill there, takes out both of the supports. Looks like Theory will go down now to an Unstable Concoction, and Rhyme also finding himself in quite a bit of trouble. The Geminite attack was there, but Rhyme did pick up that armlet around the 20-minute mark, so able to armlet toggle out of that one, and it looks like it's going to be a 3-for-2 trade, going advantage to Chuanz.
It would appear Radiant's...
That was a bit of a sloppy fight. Both teams' cores decided, you know what, we're just going to ignore each other and kill the other team's supports as quickly as possible. So it kind of just felt like they bull rushed each other and completely ignored each other in the process, passing right by. But in the end, it does seem like a little bit of an advantage for Chuanz there, even after that engagement, as they are able to put some pressure onto the mid lane.
There's Saibi starting to play that Storm Spirit, keeping in that ball lightning. Making sure Alchemist can't get the stun off, stuns himself, but looks like Crowds drops a pretty nice wall, and now he's running himself out of there. Maybe will go down here. Infest is going to be there, just going to TP up at Dimitri, following up with the Impale. Ryan picks up a double kill. Who did he kill before that? He actually got the kill on Alchemist.
Yep, really important as well. He's getting extra gold.
Weaver just causing a ruckus over here. Looks like he will end up getting Dimitri, I think. 3 people are here. Looks like Storm Spirit has shown up, but pretty out of mana. Has got 1 bottle charge. Not going to be able to do a whole lot. And are these sentries in range? Who knows? A Lifestealer picking up another kill. Looks like he solo killed Bane there in the bot river. Maybe Bane was waiting there for the rune, but kind of an odd timing to be waiting for a rune a minute in advance. Maybe just warding instead.
Yeah, it was a bit risky if we were to continue, considering both his cores had died previously, but this is what Faded needs to do. Find these kind of pick-offs of people in just too aggressive locations, considering the rest of the team can't back them up. And they're coming back into this game.
That they are. I realized I had the Sivo logo on. I forgot to switch to Symphony Gaming. Apologies to anyone from Symphony Gaming that may or may not be watching this right now. And yeah, getting back into this game, I think the Nakes Bomb has been helping out a little bit now that that's sort of available to them. Saibi's level 13. Alchemist having a harder time getting off his stun. Looks like Dimitri gets bursted down there pretty much immediately. Hacks, though, going to be able to live through that. Backtracks back to full health as well. And Rhyme picks up a kill on Jakiro. Dimitri's been down for a while, but now Rhyme in a lot of trouble going 1 versus 2 against Weaver. An Alchemist. Alchemist stun will land on Saibi. Looks like it didn't dodge there. And now Hacks chasing into the base right now. Rhyme not going to be able... Ooh! Not able to get out of that one. Looks like the armlet toggle was there by Rhyme. He didn't have Infest up, but didn't seem to matter in Crowds. Sucking Clockwork right out of his cogs, and just that vacuum doing enough damage to take out Theory.
Strange to say, Radiant's...
It took a Weaver death, but they do manage to get the mid tower, which is relatively good. I want to see them go for Roshan here, but instead it looks like Alchemist is going to go to the top lane to continue pressuring. His build is just pretty interesting. The mech phase boots into AC, I mean, you don't really see that every day.
No, you don't. The AC will be nice. It gives you that attack speed, obviously very tanky, and a great aura for pushing and team fights just in general. It works well with the Weaver, taking everyone's armor out. Allows Weaver to sort of get away with not going Deso. Or maybe not get away with, but picked up a Medallion of Courage on the Weaver for even more armor reduction. And probably just going to be going towards an MKB on the Weaver.
Yep.
And Darkseer picked up the pipe actually a little while ago. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Dimitri might be in a bit of trouble. Forced to use his Vendetta there in the top.
There were a whole lot of sentries going down over here, but it looks like they're all gone now, so Dimitri will be fine.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alchemist doing a lot of damage to the top tower. A rotation might be forced.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Alright, so another nice initiate there. Dimitri stunning out of Vendetta, not even attacking, but a good wall goes down in a Cogs. So a lot of zoning abilities out. Crowd's finding himself on the side of his wall that he doesn't really want to be on. Corey has stolen Fiend's Grip, going to use it on Weaver. Looks like Weaver could go down here, maybe not. Time lapse, no, not going to be able to get it off in time. Corey falls. 470 still alive. Very, very
Weaver
close.
bought back, but no time lapse into the fight. That was a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, that would have been really good. I'm surprised he didn't do that.
It would appear Radiant's top tower.
That's probably
is
one of the
under
most
attack.
hacks thing in all of the Dota universe. And I stopped paying
Yep,
attention
they
to
are going to
Jakiro.
end up...
Picks
yeah,
up a triple kill.
Looks like they are ahead.
Might even get an ultra kill on a Jakiro here. I don't know, though with no big damage source here right now, actually, as I say that, the 2 damage sources arrive. And looks like Rhyme is going to go down, not able to arm the toggle when you're stunned up in Unstable Concoction. And now, I would say, another good time to potentially do Roche. They've got a good Roche lineup.
Yep.
Alk can tank, he can also reduce armor. His AC is coming out to him now. They got the Medallion of Courage as well. Oh yeah, and Acid Spray also reducing armor.
Not only that, the Liquid Fire helps reduce the attack speed as well from Roshan, so like there's just so many good factors here for them. This could have been done earlier, but I mean, looks like they decided to take every tower, except the bottom one, I guess, before taking Roche.
Well, they'll probably just head down
As
there
well
now.
as being ahead off a fight. Yeah.
Or maybe heal up, then head to the bot, get that tier 2, and then just continue working that bot lane, as it is, I guess, technically the easier lane to really push into. I don't know.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
I always see
Jakiro's actually
pro teams
sitting on
pushing
so
bot.
much gold.
If you're the Dire, you're pushing bot into the Radiant. If you're Radiant, you're pushing top into the Dire, so that's what I normally see. But I guess everything is situational. It is Dota. Check out the gold graphs here. It's been I've been bringing them up occasionally, but we can see it's about a 12,000 gold lead here for 2 Chuanz, as well as a 6,500 XP advantage, so still a pretty sizable advantage as we're approaching 30 minutes.
Uh-oh.
Oh, in top.
Theory having to run away here. Yeah.
Looks like he's going to be able to TP
He's
out of
gonna
that
get
just fine. Those cogs.
Nice play. He hasn't had the best game, actually, this one on Clockwork.
No,
He's pretty
but
poor.
Yeah, he did go 1 versus 3, which makes it harder, and then his team's been at a disadvantage since the 8-minute mark, pretty much. It hasn't gotten any better since then.
I want to mention, this Jakiro is just so rich. I mean, he was at 2,700 gold, yeah. He had, like... He just had everything, and he's buying about 600 gold worth of wards, as Bravebird had mentioned here. So, I mean, he's still pretty rich. He could still afford a dagger if he really wanted one, but I don't know. Something that's been really important is a lot of people are standing in his macro pyre. He's getting so much DPS out from that, just based on how the fights are occurring.
Well, when smoke goes off for 2 Chuanz, then yeah, I'd say either a Blink Dagger or a Force Staff are pretty nice. 470 pretty much blows the smoking, but this whole team is right there behind him. Looks like Fiend's Grip going to go out right onto Rhyme. I don't know if Corey stole it or not, but a wall, macro pyre, vacuum combination, everything. Almost all of Faded dead off of that, no problem. 470 chasing Rhyme into the woods here. Looks like Weaver going to be chasing Saibi, but we'll pay attention to Rhyme. Looks like you can't rage that, by the way. Once the projectile goes out, you still take the damage as it's physical.
That's crazy. I didn't know that, actually. Makes sense, but
They changed it like right before 6.78, I believe.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
I don't think you can target a BKB or a rage with it, but if you send the projectile beforehand, it will do the damage and stun.
Strange to say,
Cool.
Radiant's middle tower.
I think you could have potentially armor toggled, but I wouldn't have expected that. I probably would have died there as well.
And the tier 3 tower goes down, and
here we
Nate's
go.
bomb, so a big team fight, a lot of
Wow.
damage initially, but the mech pretty much erases all of that. Dimitri with a nice stun, 470 getting pretty low. Saibi and Rhyme doing work on him, but where is this Weaver at? Weaver, oh, there he is, right,
Nice.
right on the high ground, just doing a ton of damage right now. They are able to take out Jakiro. Rhyme goes down again. Looks like Theory possibly going to go down here. 2 hacks. One more Gemini attack probably going to be enough. Let's see, Saibi still trying to do work over here. Going to get hit by the stun, but at least he made it back to his high ground. Crowd's running around now. Looks like he even popped the pipe off just against Saibi. And I heard the Aegis drop, so I'm thinking Weaver died. Yeah, Weaver died, back to full health right now. And they get the mid-racks, and now it's 35 to 18. Chuanz with a huge advantage right now. Chuanz also looking really strong.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen, and yet all is not Radiant's top tower.
That was a lot of damage there. If they had their entire lineup with that type of initiation that they had, with the Storm Spirit as well as the Infested Nakes, they could have won a fight like quite largely. But it was only really 2 of them fighting. They got everyone to below half, but as you said, the mech pop there just kind of let them continue fighting and turned it around for Chuanz.
Yeah, Darkseer's wall was even down too when they initiated onto that. But it's not down here. Another nice vacuum wall doing a lot of damage. The supports pretty much melt immediately. And Hacks, again, just picking up some more kills. And that's 2 lanes of racks down right now. Looks like Crowds is just working on the melee, or sorry, the ranged racks there. 470, trying to get a little greedy, throwing out a stun on Saibi, and looks like he will somehow, no, won't get away there. Corey comes in with the Saguchi. So 470 does indeed go down. He's got the AC, he's got mech, and since we've checked in last, he's got another 3,000 gold. So could go BKB, could go, looks like Shadowblade would be kind of dumb at this point. Everyone buying Sentries and Dust already for the Weaver. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's 2 lanes of Raxus down now. It's going to take a lot for Faded to get back into this here.
It's gonna take a miracle. Just switch share control. Corey can play the Nakes. They got it. Not that Rhyme has been doing bad at all, but... And he's got that Basher up. Probably just saving up for an Abyssal Blade. Pretty much the best item for Weaver. I believe it even goes through Lincoln's. Like 80% sure it does. It pops it and then just still stuns through it, or I don't know.
I'm not positive actually. I'd have
Bravebird,
to
tell
look
us.
that up. Stats. Jakiro. Fantastic.
Yeah, he really does have quite a bit. I don't even know what
Yeah,
he's
I'm
going
not
for
sure.
there.
It's the Trump build.
And let's see, Bane just buying that BKB right now won't be able to be interrupted at all in the Fiend's grip unless Theory is going to save his hook for Bane. And at that point, I don't know, it's kind of like a wasted hook, really.
Or Corey steals it and uses it on him.
Yeah.
Those are the only 2 situations. Or an unlucky bash, but does bash? It should actually.
Yeah, Bash will definitely interrupt that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if... Well, Corey's most likely, or sorry, Rhyme most likely going to be the one in the Fiend grip. Either that or probably Saibi.
Yeah, exactly.
Alchemist going to stun himself, looking to initiate. No one in the jungle, looks like. Faded playing pretty passive, sitting near their base and just farming this bot lane.
Yep. Just everyone's rich here. They only have 1 real lane left to push. Things are... If I were in Chuanz's position, I'd be very comfortable. Just take as long as you want. Make sure you continue to choke out the Radiant. Things are looking good. So
Yeah,
long as they don't throw the next fight. Or 2 or 3.
The armor resist strat coming in full force here as Hax does go for the Desolator. Or not the armor resist, the armor penetration, I don't know. Reduction, that's the word I'm trying to use. So they've got the armor reduction,
Swarm.
6 from Acid Spray, they've got 7 from Bass, and then they've got another 6 from the Medallion of Courage. So, and then the AC, what does that one do? 5? That's ridiculous. No one has any armor.
As well as Deso and the Swarm. So there's
Swarm
just
does
so
too?
much. Yeah.
Oh, only by 1, okay. That's meager compared to everything else on the table right now.
It's 1 per tick though, I believe.
Ah. Alright, and here
So
comes
it goes
Dimitri.
pretty-
Looks like the Nyx bomb is going to be inside of the Nyx. So the Nyx bomb, we'll see if he decides to go here. They go right on Alchemist, and wow, they take him down immediately, followed up with the stun there from Theory, but the Fiend's grip. BKB goes out by Tella, who I think was actually bashed and canceled it right away. So what we said we didn't think would happen happened immediately. Saibi fighting in a macro power, getting pretty low. Looks like Hax is going to be able to get out of that, no problem. So it's a 3-for-1 trade. Alchemist has already bought back, already pretty close back down to the bot lane, and Rhyme in a lot of trouble as he has to run through that wall to retreat. Deep Evil again picking up a triple kill. A very, very casual 5,300 gold on a Jakiro at 35 minutes. And looks like the game was called victory to Chuanz.
About such things.
Yep. Couldn't finish his rapier in time. The only thing I can think of is the gem pickup. That would have been really important for Chuanz to have here. The only way they're going to get caught is by pickoffs while they're this far ahead, as well as being able to just deal with any map control that Faded might be able to get. So an earlier gem would have been helpful, but they played really well this game.
That they did, and we criticized the crap out of their builds, but looks like they showed us. Two Chuanz with a really nice victory tonight. And this was Symphony Gaming, so check that out, www.symphonygaming.com. It's a pretty sweet tournament modeled on EPL soccer or football, whatever you want to call it. So it's pretty sweet. I'm Helium from FMBP Dota. With me was Orbit from Gotham City. So check out my YouTube and Twitch channels, and check out Gotham City as well. And thanks for watching. Peace.